Hello foodies, we're gonna do I think a quick recipe. We're gonna do a recipe. We're gonna make a soup. So last night I was thinking of things to make for dinner for today, and I had a big bowl of chickpeas or garbanzo beans that I made in my Instant Pot, and I was thinking, what could I do with this besides making hummus? And a soup sounded good, so I thought, okay, there's got to be maybe, you know, they have like cream of mushroom, cream of potato, cream of broccoli. There's got to be a cream of chickpea soup out there. So I went and looked one up, and I found several recipes, so I'm going to kind of smush those together and make my own recipe. So we are going to make a creamy chickpea soup. Alright, first we're going to need some onion, and I've got 2 containers of onion here. I want the equivalent of a large yellow onion chopped up. So what I have right there is about probably a little bit less than half of a large onion. And then in this container I have half of a red onion. So that's what we're going to use because that's what I have on hand. So let me just get this chopped up here for you. And I'm going to be eventually putting all of this in my Vitamix, so I suppose I don't have to get it too finely chopped. If you don't have a Vitamix, depending on how you're going to blend this up, you might want to chop this finer for your blender or your food processor or whatever you use. So as you can tell, there's no rhyme or reason to the way that this has been cut up, just into chunks, nothing special. Sorry, just looking for a spatula to use. And as you may or may not know, I do not cook with oil, so all I have in here was, I put a little bit of water in here because I was heating up the pan while I was chopping, so I didn't want the pan to get like overheated. But basically with onions you don't really need anything, but you can steam saute or steam fry with a little bit of water or some broth. And we're going to let this cook down just a little bit. While that's cooking, we are going to chop up these 4 cloves of garlic. Now with the garlic, again, this is going to go in my Vitamix, so it doesn't really matter. But the way I chop garlic finely is either use a garlic press, or I'll take a heavy jar and I'll smash the ever-living crap out of the garlic. And then what that does is it loosens it from the paper. And then you can just chop it up with your knife to get it a little bit more fine than that. And get out your aggression too. Okay, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, so let me show you what I just added to the pan. Alright guys, so some of the recipes called for herbs, and the herb that I thought would go nicely with this was rosemary, and that was in some of the recipes. And the recipes called for fresh, and I have dry. So I just added in about a teaspoon of the rosemary leaves, and I kind of like crushed them up on my fingers and sprinkled them on top. And I just thought it would give a nice layer of flavor to cook it in with the onions and the garlic. So I just want to stir this around a little bit. I just finished adding all the garlic. You just want to cook it till the onions are translucent, which will probably be about 5 to 6 minutes. And then you'll start to smell the rosemary, and you'll start to smell the garlic. You just want to make sure that the herbs and the garlic don't burn. So I'm going to get this finished cooking and prep the other stuff. At this point I'm going to put in a little black pepper. If you want some heat, you could add chili flake or cayenne or whatever your favorite heat source is. And if stuff starts sticking to the bottom of the pan, you can always add a little more broth or water to the pan if you want. I may or may not, sometimes I just like to keep it moving to get that caramelization, because when you add more liquid then it takes longer for it to cook, and I am an impatient person. So, but it is starting to smell really, really yummy. So far there's no salt in here, but there probably will be, to be honest with you. There is sodium in the vegetable broth that I'm using, but it's very low sodium. It's by Engine 2, so it's going to be like almost having no salt. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and add a little pink Himalayan salt to it. Probably the equivalent of about a half a teaspoon. And then I'll probably add some table tasty as well. So just a little bit of salt. This is going to be for a big batch of soup. or for, I don't know how big the batch soup is going to be, but it's going to be for 2 cans of chickpeas, or the equivalent, which is about 3 cups of my chickpeas. So, yeah, I'm getting myself distracted. So I'm going to call this done. You can see all the onions are pretty translucent. It smells pretty awesome in here right now. This is going to be transferred to the blender here pretty soon, but first we're going to measure in the chickpeas into my Vitamix. Okay, so the recipes that I saw called for 2 cans of chickpeas, and I looked it up, which is probably about 3 cups of already prepared chickpeas, and it calls for the juice too. So it'd be 3 cups of the chickpeas and about a cup of the chickpea liquid. So that's what I'm going to measure out right now. I'm going to do that as daintily as possible. But we'll see how that goes. I didn't have as much liquid as I thought I had in this dish, so if I need some extra liquid, I will add in some more of the vegetable broth. Alright, we're gonna add in, this is the stock that I use, the Engine 2 Plant Strong. You can see the sodium on there is very low, 35 milligrams of sodium per cup. We're gonna start with 1.5 cups of broth, and we'll add more as we need it, till we get the texture that we want. Might need to blend some of this up first. Yeah, I think we'll be alright. Next, I'm gonna add all of this into my Vitamix, and I'll try to do that from this angle. Another herb that I thought might go nice in this is just a little bit of thyme, but my husband's not a huge fan of thyme, so I'd kind of have to do that while he was here. See how much I'm allowed to put in. I don't know if he'll even eat this because it is chickpeas, and I've only found one thing that he likes chickpeas in so far, so maybe I'll have him try this and not tell him what it is. Alright guys, this is heavy. We've got everything in here. Normally if you have hot liquid, you're going to want to leave the hole open on your lid to your Vitamix and then just cover the hole with like a towel. That way you let steam out. Most of this isn't hot, just the onions and the garlic that I sauteed are hot, but I think I'm still gonna leave that little opening, put the towel over it just so there's no explosions. And if this was actually all hot, I wouldn't have filled it this full. I would have only filled it halfway, or maybe less than that. Because when you're dealing with hot liquid, hot things rise and expand and all that stuff, so you want to give yourself some space. So we're just gonna stick this in the Vitamix and give her a whirl till it's nice and creamy, and then taste it, see if I need more broth, see if I need some table tasty, and any other seasonings. Okay, that took like 30 seconds. So let's check texture and flavor and all that good stuff. I even have some lemon juice handy in case I think it needs a little lemon juice. Oh wait, I have another spoon I can use. Why make myself clean more if I don't need to? And it's not hot yet, but I have the soup function in its Vitamix, so it's gonna be hot. I just want to taste it now. Oh, that's good. It's a little sweet. I wasn't expecting sweet. I'm actually pretty happy with it as is. Some people might want to add salt. Justin might actually eat this, so he'll probably add some table tasty to it. I think I'm going to thin it out just a little bit because soups like this, once they set, like once it cools down, it can thicken up. So I'm going to add maybe like another half a cup of broth. I don't want it to be all gloppy later. So I think we're safe since it's not too hot right now. I'm gonna just get it going. Yeah, I'll be back in a few, I want to make sure I was recording. I'll be back in a few minutes after it's heated up. Like I said, I have a Vitamix, so I can just let it go on high speed for like 8 minutes, and it'll get it nice and it'll get it nice and hot and steamy hot. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes to check out the final product. Alright guys, woo! Let that run for several minutes. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out. Let's make sure it's hot enough to eat. Ooh, it's silky smooth! Look how smooth that is. Mmm. That's like super ultra creamy. That's really good. I think this is perfect as it is. Sorry. Justin will definitely want to add more flavor. He'll probably put Table Tasty in his. Tabasco would be good in this. I would use the garlic Tabasco that I like, so I'll probably put some of that in there. That'll add some salt to it too. But I think what would be really good is you can eat this plain, of course, but I think adding in like a bunch of other sautéed vegetables, roasted vegetables, whatever into this would be amazing. And you could stir some greens through it. You could blend some greens into it. If you have leftovers in the fridge, you just pour this on top of it. So I'm pretty stoked with this recipe. Easy. Easy, 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 easy. Even if your blender can't heat it up, then you just pour it in a pan and heat it up. So that's no big deal. There's no plant milk in here. It's just the chickpeas, the chickpea liquid, which is also called aquafaba, and the vegetable broth that make it this creamy. So let me pour some out for you. I actually have a bowl sitting here. What I'm thinking about putting on top maybe is a little avocado. I actually also have some leftovers from Chipotle, which I think I'll probably just pop in here, in all honesty. So, but had I not had that, I would have put the avocado on top. So, let's do the pour. Ooh. And of course, you could totally thin this out. This is a great winter fall soup for sure. It kind of tastes like Thanksgiving to me. I think it's the rosemary in it. But yeah, I'll do another taste test for you. Then I have to take a pretty picture and clean up the bowl a little bit. This is so comforting. So comforting. Again, add a shit ton of vegetables too. It'd be really good. That way it's also a little chunky too. So I hope you guys enjoyed my recipe for a creamy chickpea style soup. Hopefully I will remember to write all the ingredients down in the description box below. I know I'm terrible at remembering to do that for you guys. So yeah, I will try to do that for you. And if you've made this before, or when you make it, let me know what changes were in it, what changes you made to it, how you liked it, all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!